There is currently a team of Marines serving in Helmand province as members of the female engagement team. These women serve in direct support of the ground combat element for the Marine Air Ground Task Force and walk daily, shoulder to shoulder, with the men of the infantry battalions they support. FET members can be found carrying the same radio-stuffed day packs, bulletproof vests, and Kevlar helmet, trekking the same austere terrain with the same weapons their infantry brothers use to patrol the roads, mud compounds, and improvised explosive device-laden alleys of Helmand province. These fearless women walk out of the guarded security of the patrol bases and outposts and into the streets, expected to react instinctively like their long-trained infantry suitors, and maneuver through the tight-swept IED lanes of the villages and districts Helmandese call home.
The U.S. Marine FET utilizes female influence in support of JIROA and the commander by engaging the entire population and offering the commander an information and messaging capability that allows him to achieve his COIN objectives.
Once you start into the COIN facet of your workup, that's when you need to pull FET in. Pulling in FET at that time, understanding their capabilities and employment, and placing them right there so everyone can learn what their mission is, what their job is, and at the same time they can learn what your Marines have to do, you know, the grunt on the deck, what his job is, and how the two are going to work together.
The FET really broadened that capability and allowed us another weapon, so to speak, in engaging the population. Very effective at it, and I think what was key is that, and admittedly, you know, from the top down, Marines within the infantry battalion, there's a lot of unknowns when the FET shows up, so Marines wonder whether or not there's a capability there. By the end of it, I can tell you that we had squads asking for FET to go out with them because they routinely ran into situations where the FET was the right asset and capability in order to leverage it, whatever information or whatever intelligence they needed out on the patrol.
When the females go out with the male Marines, they gather information such as security, schools, doctors, and the women, they're not going to talk to the men, so when they see a FET face, and they just start talking. So they try to go out more than once, because the first time they might not talk to them, tell them all the information, but then you build that rapport with them, and then they're just going to talk to you about anything.
The women, since they don't get visitors very often, they're really excited to have somebody come talk to them. And the males in the compounds really appreciate that when the Marines knock on their door, that they appreciate that they bring women because we're respecting their culture, and they love that.
When we go out and we talk to the locals, they perceive us sometimes a lot better than they perceive the males. They see the males as more of an aggressive counterpart, whereas when we come out, they're more smiles, and you just see them relax when we're around. So they're more, I guess you could say, they're going to be more comfortable giving us information that they wouldn't give our male counterparts.
We can do searches in entrance control points and vehicle control points. We can engage with children, educate the children, not necessarily in reading and write, but like manners or not throwing rocks at the convoys. Minor stuff, you can just engage with the children and educate them how to wash hands and contribute to the health part of the country.
We are given language classes in our training. We're given weapons handling classes, you know, so that we can be an asset, but we're also, you know, women. So that's our main capability. We can reach out to that part of the population that CO or XO cannot do.
I think the typical mistake that a lot of commanders think, they just look at the women part. They think that we're only going to engage with the females. We're only going to meet with the female and talk to the females, and they forget about the whole Marine side. We are Marines first, and then we're going to contribute to the female engagement team as an enabler.
They're very professional. They came to me with a good in-brief about what their capabilities were, and I tested them. You know, I pushed them out there, and I made them. I gave them their task and purpose, and there's no breaks. You know, it's just a matter of like get out there and perform, which they did. I've got two very well qualified young ladies that are professionals, and they've worked with the Marines side by side within the guidelines for female engagement teams, and I'm pretty impressed with what they've done out here for us.
When the females are out there on the street talking to the population just surrounds us. So that is a good tool to use to pass whatever message you need to be passed. It's right there with the females out there.
There are means to gather intelligence all of a sudden men start talking a lot more to the FET than what you would see talking to any of our other assets that are male in the Marine Corps. So as an intelligence piece in the future, I think just from my experience seeing them for these past 2 deployments, it could be something to exploit in the future.
Just a smile counts. A lot of the children just run up to us. I think they perceived us a lot better than they perceived the males at first. Now they're a lot friendlier towards everyone. It's, like I said, it's that smile that gets you in. You know, you got the foot in the door.
But the war is not won yet. The female engagement team continues to have a critical enabling role to play, the success of which will depend on collaborative efforts with the people of Helmand. The women of the FET continue to act with the goal of delivering the necessary security to the women and children to enable tangible, relevant, and effective progress in the establishment of social development within Helmand Province. The women of the FET continue their arduous mission to win the confidence and trust of the Helmandese and convince them to commit to the government of Afghanistan through their continued resolve, open arms, and compassion for the Afghan people.